I just came up with a song.
Okay.
Cause I have no emotions. No. I actually have to go.
That's a true story. Welcome back to our channel. It was so funny. I was rewatching the video yesterday we had posted, or a couple days ago, where we were doing the TikToks, and Sarah goes, "You're a really harsh judger of singers and dancers," and I thought it was so funny because I really am, and I have no reason to be.
We're just kidding.
So in the other video too, Nikki from Sam and Nikki from Samton posted a picture of her doing a video of her doing Irish step dancing / river dancing, and then one of the people in the comments posted a link to the original Riverdance, and I've been obsessed with watching Riverdance.
She learned it. She did it for me the other day.
I did it because
I was dying.
I saw a tutorial.
So good. It was so good.
I was
so funny.
doing it. I saw a tutorial how to do the Riverdance, and I showed Sarah, and she goes, "How did you learn?" I go, "I don't know."
Now she's gonna do it for us.
I should. If I had pants on, I would. But this video might be a little bit long because we are gonna react to a bunch of clips that I've kind of clipped from the Cooligans, which I guess is a channel compiled. The Cooligans, which is I guess they're sports comedians. And that's what I could put together. They're people who's
comedians.
I don't know much about them, but the Krashlyn was on the show, and Krashlyn kind of talked about a lot of things that we haven't heard them talk about before. Mm-hmm. These clips are going to be kind of long, and we might not react to them real time. We might just wait until the very end to react to what they're talking about. But there's a bunch of clips. So these aren't all the clips. These are just the ones I thought were really interesting. Like, there's a lot to go in this interview. Things we haven't heard them talk about are just random things. Okay.
I'm curious about ever since the World Cup and the People magazine spread, just everything, and just your two just rise to kind of notoriety, and you guys are just more generally famous than you were like 2 years ago. What's been like one of the craziest things that came with this celebrity or meeting someone or anything? What's been the biggest surprise for you?
I think the biggest turning point for us was like honestly coming out as a couple last
March or something?
Yeah,
last March.
Like right before the World Cup. I it was Allie at the time wasn't even on the team. So
never got fired.
That's another story.
Yeah.
That
happened. Yeah. Who cares about that?
So I think once we came out and we started like really like speaking our truth and living our truth and being advocates for our community, and I think that was a big turning point. And it was crazy because like 2 weeks later we were back on the team together going to the World Cup, and we were like, wait, what just happened? What?
Wild.
I guess we're just gonna do this, and
we're really gonna test this relationship.
Seriously. So I just think like it became like a new buzz, and then we continued to just, go with it and keep standing up and showing up for the people around us. And clearly the World Cup helped, but I mean it's not like I'm playing. I mean she plays more than I do. I think for us it was just like really standing for something that's important. And as we continued through the tournament and after the tournament, more cameras are in your face, more recorders are in your face, and it's like you want to preach something you believe in and things that matter. So I think we just started sending the right messages and advocating for our community and for women in general and women's empowerment. And I think things now just like have slowly taken off. We wanted to bridge into other industries. So for us that was like, we sat down, we wanted to talk about branching out and not just staying in this athlete bubble, but actually going into beauty
and fashion. Because Allie once said that she wanted to be like a sports commentator. Like a sports commentator. That clip was actually really interesting. The first thing they talked about was that ever since they came out, which was only a year ago, mind you, only 1 year ago, that, and when I talk about coming out, I almost come out as a couple. I don't, that's why I like to look at coming out these days. Publicly, a relationship. That was last March. The guy said, you're more famous now. You had the whole People magazine spread. You're generally more famous. And, that's interesting. I mean, to go from WOSO community, knowing you to like people, anyone who reads People magazine, to be on like this and that and SBs and all this stuff. I thought it was interesting. And Allie said something interesting. When they officially came out as a couple, Allie wasn't even officially on the roster, wasn't on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Some people think the reason why they made their relationship public when they did was because she wasn't on the team. They thought she wasn't going to be called back up necessarily. Like there was good.
They weren't on there together.
So they weren't on there together.
Okay.
Do you think there's something to that? The fact that they weren't on the team together, therefore, the questions aren't going to be like, oh, how can someone be on the team together with their girlfriend? And do you think they specifically did not come out as a relationship until she was off the team? Do you think there was a reason behind that?
I mean, it probably was strategic, I'm guessing. But then the fact that they were both on the team after that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they didn't not allow that just because they didn't want all the press or attention around that.
That is a good point.
Good thing she was back on the team.
That's a good point. And that U.S. Soccer didn't say, hey, you're now a couple, we're not going to put you on the team.
Yeah, because U.S. Soccer kind of sucks.
Some people might say, right. Some people might actually say that, well, we don't want that to be about that, so we're actually not going to. Because as much as you think sports authorities are not like that, they're like that. You know what I mean? That it's just like in figure skating, ice dancing, they had already 1, 2, 3 for the Torino Olympics already planned out a month before they actually competed. This person going to be one. I know. So the powers that be sometimes have narratives they want to push, and maybe that wasn't their narrative. So the fact that she was back on the team 2 weeks later, I think does say something. Like, even though Jill Ellis was the coach and she's out lesbian too, so it's kind of like. Right. But sometimes Jill Ellis, there's powers to be who are more powerful than the coach. Yeah. So.
Higher ups, there's always someone higher up. Yeah.
Okay, so that clip was interesting. So let's go to the second clip. Like I said, this second clip is a bit longer, 3 minutes and 18. We're gonna mostly call you or talk about it after the fact. So here is the second clip. And here we go.
It might be slightly serious, but like, what did it ever feel like a bit of a distraction to the game, especially when we went to the media day? Alexis and I had this conversation. We were like, oh, how much do we want to ask about their relationship and the wedding? We don't want to make them uncomfortable or make them seem like the World Cup is what is the priority right now. Does it ever feel like people were focusing too much on that and not enough on your U.S. athletes?
No.
Okay.
It didn't really make me think that much into it. I know that it was like a big deal because we were the first couple, ever to really be out on the same team, especially in women's soccer. So
it's not gonna happen in men's soccer.
So,
it'd be nice.
Unfortunately, yes. I mean, you can't be yourself, which is a shame. Can I ask? I don't know if anyone's ever covered this. How did y'all meet? I mean, I know how y'all met, but how did y'all flirt? What was the first step into becoming?
Like, oh, your dribbling skills.
Because I'm trying to get some, you know what I mean?
I like that comeback.
Oh, you got those reactions.
I know, but you had the easiest Tinder because don't y'all shower together as athletes anyway?
That's what I was thinking about.
Oh my god! Don't look at me.
She's looking.
You're like, are you waving me? No, I was actually swiping. I was swiping right, girl.
Oh
Let's talk about the lockers.
Dude.
But was it a big? Was it something that you guys consciously talked about coming out? Because I recall just seeing both of your Instagrams. You clearly were sharing a lot of time together, right? So even if it's a relationship, you guys were also clearly friends. How hard was it to make that decision? Is it something you guys sat and talked about, or did you just know the time is like we're gonna be who we are?
It took Allie. It took Allie a little bit of time to
Because I'm honestly, it doesn't matter who, I'm dating or who I've dated in the past. I never wanted my relationship to be the talk of the town and for everyone to, have an inside scoop and have something to talk about when that's actually pretty sacred to me.
True.
And I'm, somewhat of a private person. And I feel like now it's different because we want to be visible to save people's lives. Yeah, honestly, I want to, have our relationship out there because we're giving our fans, our organizations, our friends, our family, everything we have, and especially each other. So we want to be that way. And now it's obviously more accepting. And we want to make it the norm. We want to make it visible. And so I think that my mentality about it changed. Because I usually am really private and I don't love to share every single thing about our life because we do in our sport. I mean, we're public figures, so we share so much of everything else. And so it's nice at the end of the day to like come home and not have to like, you know, post about going to the bathroom.
There's also that little bit of you grew up near DC, right? Yeah. So like privacy is so important to everyone from DC because it's such a public city. You're like, no, that's under the radar, and they're like, it's just a sandwich, Allie.
That's funny. But there's a lot of information in that clip for the sandwich. It's just a sandwich. It's okay what you're gonna have for lunch. The first thing that I talked about was when the media day happened. So after they had come out as, you know, engaged as a relationship, that the people interviewing them isn't going to be a distraction. Is the other people on the team going to be annoyed? Or, you know, do you want your relationship? I guess is the
attention going to be all on that and them and is it going to take away from the game and other questions about you know the sport and whatnot?
They seemed like they weren't even worried about that, which is good. Which is good. That's because good. I think that's why a lot of people don't want to be in an open out relationship, is because they want it to be about soccer. They want it to be about,
and that probably relates back to Kristen and Tobin. Yeah, if they aren't they whatever, but that's probably why they just want it to be about the game.
Yeah, and this was only a year ago. I mean, we'll almost forget about it. They've been together for 10 years. And it was last year where they made it. Official. But then some people also say this: they're not going to come out until they're engaged. Not even out lesbian. I mean, out as a couple. Some people don't ever say until they're engaged. That's when they're going to make any type of announcement. Until someone's actually engaged. I hear a lot of YouTubers talking about that. Like, I'm in a relationship, but until I'm actually engaged, have a ring on it.
Well, yeah, a few YouTubers have done that. A few gay YouTubers.
Oh, have they? Well, not. A couple of them. I was telling Sarah this, like Jamie Foxx and Katie Holmes. They were like officially a couple in regard to them being a couple. They never once talked about it ever. They were dating for like 5 years, but I guess they were never engaged, or even if they were, we never found out about it.
Yeah, but I think when you're like a bigger celebrity, like you're like big celebrity like status,
Brad Pitt or something,
like you don't want all the attention, like you don't want the paparazzi stalking you, and like, you want some privacy. You know.
Oh yeah, so that makes sense. Because I think going back to what you said about Praise, I think that's the kind of thing. Until you actually come out and say I'm engaged or I'm dating, then no one can ask you a question. But it's kind of like until you official make that statement, that's when you've invited people almost to say, hey, we've talked about being XYZ. But they also made a good, not a good point, they actually made a bad point saying this would not be true in guys soccer, men's soccer, still not accepted. And if you saw that Krashlyn was just like, I hope so. I hope one day it's accepted. Because obviously we talked about like a musical theater, it's accepted there.
Yeah.
In sports, will it become accepted?
You know, like a fourth of those guys are gay.
Oh, you think so?
Probably.
Or bi or something? Maybe. Heck.
They gotta be.
Statistically saying they have to be, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But where'd you meet? Soccer camp. Do you guys shower together?
Am I the only one? I always think about that, like the whole, like, does the team shower together? Do they have independent stalls? Or like what? Like what?
That's interesting, yeah. Yeah, I've never really thought about that, but you used to play sports, so you know these things.
I showered in front of other ladies, and it's not comfortable.
Yeah, especially when you're in high school.
When you're in high school.
Or junior high. That's like when you're most self-conscious about your body.
I know, and I'm just like, oh my God, everybody's looking.
I know. And everyone's self-conscious themselves, but you don't think about them caring about you. Just think.
My thinking is everybody looks like they don't care.
But they'll look.
They seem confident, so then I like faked it too, and I'm like, I'm okay with being naked in front of everyone.
Yeah, but
I'm so proud of myself the first time.
Yeah, good job. Well, and that's like what we're talking about. Like high school is like you feel most self-conscious. I think your whole life, high school is when you feel the most self-conscious about your body. And they made an interesting point about they didn't come out before as a couple, but now they want to save lives. They want to say this is the norm. This isn't weird. This isn't wild. This is like the norm. And I'll say this over and over. It's because of people who had to go through discriminatory times that we can have the times like we have now. And that's one of the reasons why, like I say, Sarah and I don't like to make a big deal about necessarily people being gay. It's more like, are you in a relationship? Which I guess kind of go into the hands because people have fought the battles that were horrible. And
what I want to know is, I want to know if Krashlyn, if they've had any moments where they've been discriminated against because they're together, because they're, gay.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Because we've heard about people
asked them in an interview, okay?
Yeah, we've heard about the people having racist things a set of reasons. So there's definitely racism still out there.
Sexism, everything. I mean, everything's out there.
Yeah, but I wonder if that'd be an interesting question. So I thought that was a very telling moment of that interview. And you guys comment down below. What did you guys think of all these clips in particular? This one's a little shorter.
That's for so long. I don't know what your schedule looks like during a quarantine, but this is. Yeah, you know, I was gonna be in that chair if it wasn't for this interview.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna be in that room.
When you look at sort of how your lives have changed after winning the World Cup, and how you've kind of become sort of this, like, not just a gay couple icon, but is sort of just a couple icon. Has that created a little bit more stress with so many people sort of looking at you now? Like, y'all have to always be smiling, right? Like, y'all can't really be arguing with each other, right? Like, has it added any additional stress, or do you guys invite sort of this I don't know, this extra spotlight?
I think you're going to get two different answers. I think it's been tough for Allie. You know, we walked out yesterday to walk the park, and someone's like, "Hey, Ashlyn, Allie, hey!" And I'm like, "I know where we live." She freaked. Yeah. She wants all new shrubs. She wants a whole concrete wall in front of them.
You need a moat.
I'm like, just wave. It's a child.
You guys won the World Cup. You didn't kill the head of a mafia family.
Or did they?
I'm like, okay, sorry.
Yeah. So, you know, we're trying to, like, keep it balanced, but it's been great. I think here in Orlando, people are so wonderful and respectful, and just, like, you know, they're jogging by and they're like, "Hey, I love what you do, support you, thanks," and wave. You know, like, people are like 6 feet.
Yeah. If you guys lived in Jersey, it'd be a very different reaction. Hey, look who the f- it is, huh? So what you guys doing, huh? You guys want a bacon, egg, and cheese? I'll go get you one. You know, it's very different.
We're in Jersey now.
Oh, that'd be like Carly Lloyd. She's from New Jersey. Yeah, I can totally see it. So that's interesting. So that actually made me, I don't want to say appreciate Ashlyn, and I don't mean it like, oh, she's the one who's like more open. It's not even about that, but I like how she kind of calms Allie down and say, everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You know, someone saw us, but that's not a bad thing, you know.
I feel like I'm the Allie in that situation, and you're the Ashlyn.
We have our moments. I think we both have our moments of like both. But I also like, so I think that's such like a relatable thing where just kind of like, she's more private, like doesn't want to draw attention because that's her personality. Like, we always see Ashlyn with the Snapchats and the Instagram.
Very loud on social media.
Out of control. And then Allie is kind of quite, even though it's funny because Kyle is very out there on his social media too. So she has Kyle and then Ashlyn. And then she's just kind of like goes along with it because she loves them both so much. But she's like, what happened? What's going on here? But, you know, they see, did you hear she wants to get a whole brick wall in front of her house? But that's just her personality. Yeah, that's just her personality. That's not because she doesn't love her fans. It's not because when we met her in real life, or when we went to, she was the person who stayed up the longest to meet people. When we went to the Pride versus Sky Blue game, she wants to meet people. Nice. So nice. She stayed out there for so long, so sweet. Like, even so, she goes, "You guys want a picture?" Like, she asked us if we wanted a picture. We didn't ask her if we wanted a picture.
She knew us. So.
Yeah, she wanted to sign banana peels. She wanted.
She really did.
So I mean, it's not her not liking the. I think she just gets uncomfortable with the spotlight being just on her.
Yeah, she seems that way.
And going back to why they didn't officially come out, well, that makes a lot of sense. She just doesn't want attention, which I think is the Tobin.
Yeah.
Tobin doesn't want attention because
we're comparing, but
that's true. We shouldn't compare. But kind of like Ashlyn, Allie finally said she wants to save people's lives. That trumps everything. Yeah. She wants to save people's lives. That overshadows everything. That she wants to save their lives. There's a couple more clips.
People like really genuinely. I think for me personally, I love more that people respect the people we are and the things that we do off the field instead of, you never say like, "Oh, I love how you saved the ball." Like, hey, you know, like, we really love what you're doing for our community and stuff like that. So I think that's so impactful, and that's what matters most to me personally, and I know Allie. I think just the impact we've had on our community and the people around us for just like genuinely being our authentic selves and not necessarily it being about
It's so funny because when I brought up that I was interviewing you guys to my wife, she was like, oh, ask her what Anna Wintour said, you know, which is, that's where we're at now. I'm like, you know, they won a World Cup, right? I want to know what a lady with bangs asked. You know, they won a lady with bangs.
There's like the soccer people, like the fans and supporters who like just want to talk about soccer and just like love us for, you know, being on Orlando Pride. But then there's the other half who's just like,
yeah,
people are like, wait, what do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah.
Well, it's a thing we kind of deal with, especially as comedians. We're trying to like merge these two worlds, but these two worlds have no interest in each other. You know what I mean? Like we're never gonna convert comedy fans to start liking soccer.
Okay, so I think it just kind of goes along with what also they're saying, that they just don't want to. They just want people to. They like when people talk to people, but they like when they said you helped me, you've changed my life.
Yeah, that's like more meaningful, like for what they're doing, for what they did, coming out as a couple.
I wonder, I just thought about this right now. I wonder if they've ever had a moment where they wish they would have come out as a couple earlier.
Oh.
You know, it's only been a year where they've
officially asked them that.
Yeah.
Whoever's going to interview them next.
And I think when they look at, I think they look up to Megan Rapinoe. I mean, they've kind of talked about this. They just look up to Megan Rapinoe so much.
Icon.
They just, do you ever have friends in your life where you just look at them and you're just kind of in awe of your friends, certain, you know, people close to you? So I just think they look at Megan Rapinoe because I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. Megan Rapinoe is an icon, a gay icon.
You're starting to get blue in the face.
I know. Even when her and Sue Bird had their moments where they were kind of in a private relationship, because Sue wasn't officially out when they announced their relationship. So
who isn't gay in the WNBA?
Somebody sent me a clip of what percentage of WNBA is gay, but I wonder if they would go back and say, I wish we would have, and like I think Ashlyn would have been like, I would have been talking about it a long time ago, but since Allie, it wasn't about being gay so much as being like let's talk about her being gay and that's it.
Right, yeah. Because, and I think it's important to agree on that in
the relationship.
As a couple, both, I guess, come out, whatever, at the same time, you know. Don't force the other.
You have to be on the same page.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And as famous as they are, that they're going to have to talk about it and have to know what that means for each other. But I think this interview kind of gave a good insight to where their heads were at during all the, you know, World Cup, getting on the team, when they decided to come out as engaged. Someone also sent me a picture, said something that Ashlyn actually had that ring for 3 years before she actually proposed.
Oh.
Yeah. And married.
Iconic.
And hey, respect. And that's the thing. When Allie says that she is private but now wants to save lives, I think that means so much. You know, she's private.
Good. That's important.
But saving lives to her is more important than any privacy that she might have or might not have.
Right.
So, what do you guys think? We had a little technical difficulty shooting this film.
We survived.
We survived. We're so glad we looked at this. This interview is really good. This is one of my favorite interviews I've ever seen. And it's actually, like, I've always really liked Ashlyn, but I think this makes me like her even more. Like, just when she, you know, because sometimes she's doing the whole out of control, like, personality.
Ooh, I like that.
No, and people like that, but I like when she's really introspective. I really like that, Ashlyn.
You like both sides.
Yeah, you do.
Because it's the best of both worlds. Cut that out.
No. Questions, comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. What did you guys think of this interview? These were just some of the parts. It was an hour-long interview. I'll link it down below, the whole interview, but there's probably other parts, but these are the parts I thought were.
And let me leave you with some last words. I totally get how Ariana feels because I have this ponytail and I keep whipping it around and I keep feeling it. So just call me Ari, bitch. Bye. Love you.
Bye, guys.
Ow.